and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Craig. Today we are going to make another awesome cake from scratch. Apple, pear, walnut and almond cake. Yes, it's going to be so delicious and it's going to help this time of year when you need some nice dessert to go with your dinner. Alright, so what do you need? You need 125 grams of softened butter. You need 200 grams of white kitchen sugar. Now it can be plain white kitchen sugar, it can be caster sugar, preferably not using icing sugar, but you can use caster sugar or even raw sugar in this mix. Now you also need some vanilla essence, about a tablespoon or so. I never measured this one, I just always go by eye for that one. 2 eggs, which I have here. 125 mils of milk to go with our 225 grams of self-raising flour. We will put that through a sieve, mixing it together. We also have a tablespoon of baking powder to go in that, to be topped off with our crushed nuts, which this is the walnut and almonds already done. I put these through the food processor just before. And to top it off, we have 50 grams or 60 grams of raw sugar. Now we're going to put this on the top. It's going to help make the top of the cake nice and golden and yummy. And that's right, you need a pan. So a nice greased springform pan to go with all of this. Now we've got the apples and the pears. Now I'm going to cut these up, whack them in the fry pan with a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of that sugar, and a tiniest little bit of water, just to help the whole process start off. We're going to soften these down, bring it back, and start the mix. Alright, I'm going to time lapse this bit, you guys, so it's easier. Alright, so these have now come off the stove. It's the pears. The pears got put in the last second, so the apples got most of the cooking in them to get them nice and soft. The pears were already soft, so they only got put in the last second, so they got coated in the cinnamon and sugar. Alright, I'm going to put this aside for later, well, in a second anyway, and we'll start getting ready for our wet ingredients. Alright, so our wet ingredients, what we need is 2 eggs. 2. And we need our butter that has been softened and sugar. Now I'm going to start this on a medium speed. There we go. So that is the butter, the eggs and the sugar creamed all ready together. Now I'm going to put in a dash, about a tablespoon of vanilla essence. There we go. And start beating and pour in the milk. So I'm going to take the sound off now. Alright. Tap those down. Now we just need to quickly grab our flour and we'll sift this in. Sift our flour. A teaspoon of that, of the baking powder, into the mix. And now we're going to mix this in again. Alright, I'm going to take the sound down so you don't get your ears blown out by this blender. Alright, now that we've got that mixed up, what we're going to do is we're going to put 2/3 of these apples and 2/3 of these nuts into the mix. There's a third. Alright, now we fold this in, not so that we lose too much of the air that we've just beaten into the mixture. Now, we have our greased tin all ready to go. We're going to pour this into the bottom. Alright, let's go. Alright, so now we just give this a bit of jiggle. So it flattens itself into the bottom of the tin. And to finish this cake off before we put it in the oven, so we're going to sprinkle these apples all across the top. And the same with the nuts. We're going to sprinkle them over the top. And last but not least, the raw sugar. The raw sugar we're going to sprinkle across the top, like so. Cover all of that mixture. Now that is done. Now before I started cooking, I set my oven to 160 degrees Celsius. So let's whack this in. Let's start cooking. And that's how easy it is to cook one of these cakes. Now that was in the oven for 40 minutes on 160 degrees Celsius. It's now going to sit here for about another 20 minutes to cool down. And then I can take it off the bottom of the pan and cut this up and eat it. Just remember, if you see anything you like in these videos, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget, if you have comments, questions, or things I can be doing better in these videos, leave it in the comments field below on YouTube. Maybe you've tried this type of cake before, and you've added something different into it. Maybe a different type of spice. Tell me about it. Leave it in the comments field. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that subscribe button and get notified when I do these Cooking with Craig segments, my daily vlogs, opening tomorrow, checkout basket, you name it. I film it, it ends up on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button. And until next time, see you in the next video.